Hey guys, Chris from Absorption here, and in this video, I'm going to show you the solution for question 5 from the May 2022 PoA Paper 2. If you want to see the solutions to the other questions on this paper, I'm going to put a card up there and a link in the description below, so be sure to check those out as well. Now, before we get into the question and the solution thereof, let me just say very personally, I thoroughly disagree with the inclusion of absorption costing on the Form 5 syllabus, right? I had to kind of re-record what I said here quite a few times because I kept ranting on. But long story short, CSEC, whoever is forming the syllabus, I understand you want to modernize it. But you all took off stuff like disposal of non-current assets, recovery of bad debts, incomplete records, the better part of the non-for-profit organizations. Put those things back. Leave the costing for Form 6, right? Nobody's using CSEC POA to run a business, right? Let's understand that. It'll give them a good introduction to do other accounting courses, right? But no Form 5 student is going to take what they learn here and apply it to business. Almost none of them, right? So stop trying to be overly idealistic and come down from out of the clouds, okay? On top of that, your syllabuses are overstuffed, okay? Take out some of the irrelevant things and put back on the things that are relevant that should not have been taken off in the first place, okay? Anyhow, rant over, let's get into the question. Okay, so Hi-Tech Limited is a manufacturer of scale electric toy cars. It has two cost centers, assembly and finishing. And information is available as follows. Okay, so we have indirect costs. So this is closely related to manufacturing. That's where the indirect cost came from. We have a production supervisor salary and apportion costs, right? Now, the cost centers are like production departments, right? They are departments or areas or activities where costs are incurred, okay? We have assembly. So assembly, you're putting together the cars. Finishing, you're probably painting them, putting sealants or whatever, seals or whatever the case is, right? So the production supervisor salary is $5,000 in one case and $56,000 in the next case. Apportion costs are $97.50 and $15,250, right? Apportion means to share. So what's happening is that there are certain overheads that have to be shared between these departments, and they shared based on whatever basis. They didn't tell us, we don't know. Anyhow, not important right now. Part A says using the information given in the table above to use information to calculate total indirect cost for each cost center. Now, all you want to put a fancy topic like absorption costing, right? But you want to give on a CSEC exam, right, a final exam, a little basic question like this. What's the total cost? Why are you all doing this, right? I apologize that this video is turning into a rant, but I have some repressed feelings from since last year, May, when I first heard this topic was actually tested, right? Anyhow, they're giving you easy marks, take it, right? So I'm going to put up a little solution now, right? Calculation of total indirect costs. So all you have to do is add the production supervisor salary, right, and the apportion costs, and you're getting your total indirect cost. So that's the assembly cost center there. Finishing cost center, exactly the same thing, different total. Cool. Let's take a look at part B to the question. So it says the total production hours for the business are as follows. Production hours. Labor hours, LH. So you have 3,500 labor hours in the assembly department and 2,500 labor hours in the finishing department. Machine hours. You have 500 machine hours in assembly, 1,500 in finishing. Additional information. The assembly cost center operates on a labor hour intensive basis. Do you mean a labor intensive basis? Who is writing this? Did I miss out something? Did something change? I mean, I'm pretty sure many things changed since I was in Form 5 or even university. But why is it not just labor intensive? Anybody doing POB, you all ever heard of it being labor hour intensive as opposed to labor intensive? Right? The finishing cost center operates on a machine hour intensive basis. Why not just capital intensive? If you're putting this topic on the syllabus, would you not expect students to know the difference between labor intensive and capital intensive? Again, I apologize for the rant. Let's go. First thing, state the formula to calculate the overhead absorption rate. Okay, I'm just going to put it up. The OER formula is estimated overhead divided by estimated cost driver volume. Okay, that's one mark. The actual calculations, calculate the OERs for each cost center. Okay, cool. So let's take the same format that I have here, calculation of OER. Let's start with the assembly cost center. So we're going to use the 14,750 from the previous part of the question, and we're going to divide by, in this case, now, this is where the additional information came in about the labor intensive. We're using the labor hours to help share the overheads, right? So we're going to divide by the 3,500 and we're going to get a approximately 4.21. I don't know if that was an exact figure. If you ever get like multiple decimal places, round off to 2, right? Because it's dollars and cents. But for the finishing cost center, we're going to use the 20,850 that we found out as total overheads in part A. We're going to divide that by the machine hours, because apparently the finishing cost center is a machine hour intensive basis as opposed to capital intensive. Again, I apologize. Right, that's just 1,500, so we're going to divide by 1,500 and get 1,390. All right, cool. That's it for part B to the question. Let's check out part C. Right, so High Tech Limited has received an order for some Scalextric toy cars. The production of one toy car requires the use of 5 kilograms of direct material, which is purchased at $10 per kilogram. Okay, the breakdown of the remaining production details as follows. Assembly, finishing, labor hours at 25 per hour. So you use 3 3/4 labor hours in the assembly department and 3.5 labor hours in finishing department. And machine hours, you use 5 in assembly, 2 in finishing, right? Now you'll notice there's no rate for the machine hours. What they wanted you to know was that the machine hours, right, are part of your overheads. And we use the OAR we just calculated as the machine hour rate, the overhead rate, right? Now, that's going to come in a little later. The first thing they want us to do, use the spaces provided in the tables on page, to calculate and arrive at, okay, the total cost of producing one Scalextric toy car. Remember to apply your previously calculated OARs for the 2 cost centers appropriately. Okay, cool. So let's take a look here, right? First table here says direct materials calculations, material costs. Now, why did they give you a whole table to just do 5 by 10? They want to know how much materials per car. They just told us here in bold, right? One toy car uses 5 kilograms of material, which is purchased at a cost of $10 per kilogram. Okay, so quantity is 5, by cost is 10, so the materials cost per unit is 50. I don't know if they wanted to write it in big letters or big numbers. I don't know. But let's go ahead. Let me scroll on a little bit. Give me 1 second. Okay, so they give you a nice table here, production hours calculation. So this confused some people, and I'll be real honest, it confused me initially, and I'll tell you why in a little bit, right? Let's read the table. So you have a few columns here. So assembly cost center, finishing cost center. So you want the labor hours, the machine hours, the totals, and then the production hours total cost. So they want the total cost. All right. So what's supposed to go here then? Oh, this is total for assembly, total for finishing, total for labor, total for machine hours. So it's a kind of matrix grid structure, right? With a bit of a cross check, because if you add across or you add down, you're supposed to get the same figure here, right? So let me just pull up my information here and let me go back up to the information that we would need. Right. Okay, here we go. So let's talk about the assembly first, right? So we have, hold on, sorry. All right, so let's put in some figures. So labor hours, cost per hour, right? So let's deal with the assembly. So labor hours, you had 3.75, sorry, and you're multiplying by 25 per hour, which is going to give us 93.75, okay? For finishing, we have 3.5 hours by the same 25, which gives us 87.5, and you add across for the 181.25, right? Okay, next. Okay, so now we have to apply the machine hours, right? Now, check this. Again, there was no machine hour rate, right? What we had to use was the the OAR, right? To help us calculate the overhead costs applied for the machine hours. Now, in the assembly department, if you remember the lovely phrasing here, the assembly cost center operates on a labor hour intensive basis. So what that means is we have to use the labor hours of 375, sorry, where was it? Of 375, right? And multiply that by the OAR we calculated. Let me show you what I'm talking about, right? So 375 by the 421. Remember 421 from the previous calculation, previous page? And that's going to give us 1580, right? For the finishing department, we have 2 hours. Now, we can use machine hours, the 2 hours there, because they tell us in their lovely phrasing here, the finishing cost center operates on a machine hour intensive basis. And the OAR was based on machine hours, which is 1390, and we get 2780. And when you add across, you get 4360, right? There's something else we're supposed to put here, right? So right. So when you add the 93.75 and 15.80, you get 109.55. When you add 87.50 to 27.80, you get that. And then if you add going across or you add going down, you're supposed to get the same 224.85, right? Now, the other piece they wanted in this part of the question was the overall total cost. The overall total cost. Overall total cost, as opposed to the partial total cost, right? Of producing one toy car. So the materials cost and the production hours. Okay, cool. So the materials total was 50, which was the 5 kilograms by $10 per kilogram, plus the 224.85, which you just found in the little matrix grid structure above. And when you add it together, you get 274.85. Cool. So that whole page was 7 marks there, right? Now we just have one more piece to do, and then we're done. So let's get to that quickly, right? Right, so High Tech Limited has a 50% markup policy. Define the term markup pricing. That's going to put it up. Markup pricing is an approach to pricing where a percentage of the total cost is added on to the total cost price to arrive at selling price. So you literally find a percentage of your cost and you add it on, right? They also have cost plus pricing as an option here in the syllabus. So we'll talk about that next time, right? Now, part 2 says calculate the total dollar value of the markup on one scale electric toy car. So all I want is the markup. So you're going to take your cost, which is 274.85, which you just found in the previous part of the question, multiply by 50% to find the markup, right? And then the last part of the question, calculate the selling price of one scale electric toy car. So all you have to do is take the same 274.85, add the 137.43 you just found, and you have your total selling price per car. Why they didn't have you do this in one go, again, is beyond me. They keep putting little one-mark pieces on papers and just bulking up the papers unnecessarily. I don't know if it's an attempt to give away easy marks to help people pass the exam or what, but I don't like it. Anyhow, that's it for this question. Thank God. Anyhow, guys, that's about it for this question. Let me just apologize. I have to admit this is not my usual kind of quality explanation because I just did not like this question the way it was presented. I had a lot of little things to nitpick with it, as you saw. It doesn't take away from the fact that the question is relatively somewhat useful. I just think they need to package it better and they need to explain in detail on the syllabus what exactly we need to teach under absorption costing, as opposed to just bringing whatever they feel like on the exam and saying, oh, that's what we're supposed to teach, you know? Okay, cool. Anyhow, I'm pretty sure there were probably some other teachers who did the work and went into CSEC or bought textbooks that told them what to teach. Again, I teach us at the CAPE level, but there's so much of it to teach. Where am I supposed to stop, right? Anyhow, and there was a textbook, there was a CSEC textbook that somebody sent me pictures of on this chapter, and I was like, why do they want you to know all of this at CSEC level? Anyhow, again, that's just my rant. I don't know why I feel so butthurt about it, to be honest. I really don't know. But anyhow, that's about it for this question. Like I said, if you have any further questions about it, put them in the comment section. I don't know if I'll answer them because I kind of fed up with this question, to be honest. Although there was one in the Jan 2023 paper, that solution should be out within about a week or so of this particular video. Yeah, sorry, this question just annoys me. If you want to see more videos, just click here. Please don't forget to subscribe and check out my website for some POA handouts. As per usual, guys, thanks for watching. And again, I apologize for my ranting approach in this video. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you next time. Bye.